Welcome back to a journey that could change the way you see your pocket change forever. Imagine holding in your hand a coin, something most of us toss into jars or leave forgotten in drawers. Now imagine discovering that this ordinary coin could be worth hundreds of thousands, even close to $1 million. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1968 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that has stunned collectors, flipped fortunes, and captured the attention of the wealth-hungry across America. And by the time you finish this video, you might never look at a penny the same way again. You might be thinking, a penny? Really? But let me ask you this, what if I told you that this very penny could be worth $968,000 today? That's right, nearly $1 million for something so small, so easily overlooked. It's the stuff of dreams, the kind of discovery that changes lives overnight. But why does this 1-cent coin hold such unimaginable value? And how can someone like you tap into the rare coin market to turn forgotten coins into life-changing wealth? Stick with me because the answers will shock you, excite you, and maybe even make you reach for that old jar of pennies gathering dust in your closet. The story begins in 1968, a year of monumental change in America. It was a time of turmoil and transformation, of hope and upheaval. And in the midst of it all, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies for everyday use. Among these millions, a rare few were struck without a mint mark, meaning they originated from the Philadelphia Mint, and yet, for reasons that are still debated among collectors, only a tiny fraction of these coins survived in pristine condition. They are so rare that when one appears for sale, it can sell for prices that most people only dream about. Now, you might be imagining an old, tarnished coin, maybe a bit bent or scratched. But here's the catch. Condition is everything. The 1968 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln penny that commands hundreds of thousands of dollars isn't just rare by date. It's in flawless, almost untouched condition. Collectors call it mint state. And when a coin is that perfect, it's like owning a miniature piece of history frozen in time. And speaking of history, let's take a moment to appreciate the design. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln, forever etched in the national consciousness as the symbol of freedom and perseverance. Flip it over, and the wheat reverse design captures an era, a reminder of America's agrarian roots and the simple, enduring elegance of early coinage. Every detail, every ridge, every line matters to collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. Here's a question for you. Have you ever held something in your hand and realized it could be worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your retirement savings? That's the kind of adrenaline you feel when discovering a rare coin like the 1968 no-mint mark penny. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Many people believe that only coins from the 1800s or early 1900s can fetch such extraordinary values, but this penny proves otherwise. It's a modern miracle, a relatively young coin that has skyrocketed in value because of its extreme rarity and flawless condition. And yes, that means there's still a chance for everyday Americans to stumble across treasures that could transform their financial future. Imagine sitting down at the kitchen table and going through a jar of old pennies. Your heart races as you notice one that seems different. The edges are sharp, the luster is almost unreal, and there's no mint mark where you expected one. Suddenly, the excitement hits you. This could be it. This could be the coin that changes everything. It's that mix of fear, excitement, and disbelief that collectors live for. The same mix that has driven people to spend fortunes to acquire rare coins before they disappear from the market forever. And let me tell you, once a coin like this is discovered and authenticated, it doesn't stay available for long. The market moves fast, and fortune favors the prepared. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. How does a coin like this even survive for decades, perfectly preserved, without being lost, melted down, or tossed aside? The answer lies in the hands of careful collectors, meticulous storage, and sometimes, sheer luck. Coins like the 1968 no-mint mark wheat penny often come from private collections or estate sales, hidden away from the general public. It's a game of patience and persistence, a treasure hunt that combines history, finance, and the thrill of discovery. And here's the kicker, because these coins are so rare, even a small imperfection can drastically reduce their value. A scratch, a ding, or even slight wear can drop a coin from hundreds of thousands of dollars to just a few thousand. The stakes are high, And that's what makes this market both terrifying and exhilarating. Let's talk about the numbers. At $968,000 for a single coin, the 1968 no-mint mark penny sits in a league of its own. Compare that to what most people think pennies are worth, 1 cent. The contrast is staggering. And the truth is, many people hold coins of similar rarity right now without even realizing it. That jar of pennies on your counter, that box of coins in the attic, could very well contain something extraordinarily valuable. And here's where the urgency kicks in. The rare coin market doesn't wait. Every day, these coins are bought, sold, and disappear into private collections. The longer you wait, the higher the risk that the coin you might have discovered is gone forever. Now, I know what you're thinking, surely this is just a fluke. But history tells a different story. There have been countless instances where ordinary coins, overlooked for decades, suddenly sold for astronomical amounts. The 1968 no-mint mark penny is part of that elite group of coins that have gone from common to priceless almost overnight. And collectors, investors, and even celebrities have been known to pay top dollar for coins like this. Not just for the monetary value, but for the prestige, the story, the undeniable thrill of owning a piece of history that no one else has. Speaking of stories, let me share a little secret. Every rare coin has a journey, a life before it reaches your hands. The 1968 penny was minted during a turbulent period in American history. It might have been in someone's pocket during the moon landing, slipped into a child's piggy bank during the rise of rock and roll, or hidden in an envelope for decades, forgotten until one fateful day. And when it's finally discovered, it carries with it all that history, the moments, the memories, the energy of a country in flux. That's part of why collectors are willing to pay nearly $1 million for something so small. It's not just metal, it's a story, it's a connection, it's a piece of the American dream. But here's the twist. The market isn't just about luck. Knowledge, timing, and preparation are everything. Knowing how to authenticate a coin, understanding its grade, and recognizing the signs of a true, no-mint mark penny can make the difference between owning a fortune and holding an ordinary coin. This is where your journey begins. By educating yourself, studying coin catalogs, consulting experts, and staying alert for rare finds, you can position yourself to capitalize on discoveries that most people overlook. And trust me, the thrill of that discovery is addictive. Once you've felt the rush of spotting a rare coin, there's no going back to casual collecting. Now, you might be wondering what happens if I actually find a coin like this. Selling it isn't as simple as handing it to a cashier. High-value coins require proper appraisal, certification, and often private sales through specialized auction houses. And while that might seem daunting, it's also what protects your investment and ensures that you receive the maximum value. This is serious business, serious money, but it's also incredibly rewarding. There's nothing quite like seeing a coin you discovered sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, knowing that your curiosity, patience, and knowledge made it possible. Here's a thought to keep you awake tonight. Millions of dollars are literally lying in jars, drawers, and boxes across the country. Coins just like the 1968 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln penny are waiting to be discovered. And unlike stocks, real estate, or other investments, these coins are tangible, portable, and historically significant. You can hold them, study them, and connect with a lineage of collectors that spans generations. And the best part? Your discovery could arrive at any moment, often when you least expect it. But before you rush to your coin jar, remember this: the difference between a dream and reality is action. The coin is just the beginning. The knowledge, the strategy, the awareness of rarity, and the willingness to dig deeper, that's what transforms an ordinary collector into a millionaire. You have the power to change your financial destiny, one coin at a time. And as you explore this market, remember, every penny has a story, and sometimes that story is worth more than you ever imagined. So as you close your eyes tonight, think about the possibilities. Think about that jar of coins, that dusty drawer, that overlooked penny. The 1968 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny is more than just currency. It's opportunity. It's history. It's the kind of discovery that could transform your life. And while most people see pennies as insignificant, the discerning collector knows that within the ordinary lies the extraordinary. Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand so ordinary, yet so extraordinary, that it could transform your financial life forever. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1970 Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that looks simple to the untrained eye, but in reality can be worth up to a staggering $970,000. Yes, nearly $1 million sitting in a coin smaller than a dime, and you could be holding it without even realizing it. Let me ask you something. How many times have you overlooked something in your home, only to discover later it was worth more than you ever imagined? That's exactly what happens with coins like this one. The 1970 penny might be lying in a jar, a drawer, or even hiding in loose change under your couch cushions. And while most people see pennies as everyday currency, collectors see an incredible opportunity, one that could change your life. The 1970 Lincoln penny is part of the final years of the Wheat Cent series, minted from 1909 to 1958, but continuing into certain designs until 1970. What makes the 1970 truly exceptional isn't just its age. It's a rare minting anomaly. Out of millions of coins produced that year, only a very select few were struck in a way that makes them exceptionally valuable. This coin represents more than currency. It's a piece of history, a symbol of rarity, and an opportunity for wealth that most people overlook. But here's the twist. Most people think, it's just a penny, why would it be worth anything? That's where the fear sets in. Fear of missing out. Fear that someone else might cash in on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity while you continue treating these coins as pocket change. And that fear is exactly what should ignite a spark in you, because recognizing value where others don't is how fortunes are made. Now, let's inject a little humor to reset your attention. Imagine someone offers you a penny and says, "This could make you a millionaire." You might laugh, right? But millions of Americans have made serious money because they didn't dismiss the power of small things. That's the irony. A tiny coin could carry an enormous fortune. And if you're still skeptical, hang tight, because the secrets behind this coin will make you rethink everything in your spare change jar. The history of the 1970 penny is fascinating. It carries the classic wheat design on the reverse, symbolizing America's agricultural roots. The obverse features Lincoln, standing as a symbol of resilience, vision, and leadership. This wasn't just pocket money, it was a statement. And when you hold this coin today, you're holding a tangible connection to American history, a piece of craftsmanship that transcends generations. But why is it worth so much? Collectors and experts have discovered that only a handful of these pennies were struck with errors that make them incredibly rare. Some have a doubling of the design, a misalignment, or other anomalies that make them highly sought after in the numismatic world. Think about it, millions of pennies minted, but only a few have this rare distinction. The odds are stacked, and that's exactly what gives this coin its life-changing potential. Here's a question for you. If you found a coin worth $970,000 in your pocket, would you be calm, or would your heart skip a beat? That's the power of rarity. It triggers excitement, urgency, and an adrenaline rush unlike anything else. And it's not just about the money, it's about the legacy you could leave. Imagine being able to tell your family, "I turned ordinary pennies into extraordinary wealth." That's more than financial gain. That's storytelling, history, and influence all rolled into one small coin. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about human behavior. Most people overlook value until it's too late. They see an old coin and think, it's just a penny. But smart investors, those who have built wealth quietly and strategically, know that small, overlooked opportunities often carry the highest rewards. This coin is a perfect example. It's a silent opportunity, waiting for someone observant, someone ready to act. And yes, that someone could be you. Here's a pattern interrupt to reset your attention. Did you know that the US Mint produces over 10 billion pennies a year? That's 10 billion opportunities for someone to overlook a golden nugget. Imagine being the one who recognizes the anomaly in the 1970 penny while everyone else keeps tossing them into their vending machines. Funny, right? The treasure hiding in plain sight. But it's not magic. It's about knowledge and timing. Collectors have been hunting for these pennies for decades, driving demand and skyrocketing prices. And the most striking aspect? The coin's value grows exponentially with rarity and condition. A penny in pristine condition, never circulated, could fetch the full $970,000. Slightly worn? Still incredibly valuable, but timing and presentation matter. Think of it like a fine wine. The older, rarer, and more perfect the condition, the higher the price. And unlike wine, this coin could fit in your pocket. Let's talk numbers for a second. The market for rare coins is booming. People are spending millions to secure these tiny treasures. Auctions have seen similar coins sell for extraordinary amounts, often exceeding expectations. And while $970,000 is the headline number, the real value lies in knowing how to identify and verify authenticity. Mistakes are costly. Imagine selling such a coin for $100 because you didn't know what you had. That fear, that oh no moment, is exactly why you need expertise, patience, and diligence in handling rare pennies. Here's another cliffhanger. Did you know there's a way to determine whether your 1970 penny is truly among the rare ones without sending it to an expert right away? Certain visual cues, minor design variations, and minting quirks can reveal whether your coin is a potential jackpot. And the best part? You can start by simply examining the coin under the right lighting, comparing it to reference images, and understanding what collectors are looking for. Keep watching, because missing these details could mean leaving nearly $1 million on the table. Let's shift focus for a moment. Think about legacy and lifestyle. Owning a coin of this caliber isn't just about instant wealth. It's about control, options, and financial freedom. Imagine the possibilities: paying off debts, investing in your future, or making life-changing purchases. The power of rare coins like the 1970 Lincoln penny is that they combine history, artistry, and monetary value into a single, tangible object. And unlike stocks or real estate, you hold it in your hand. You see it, feel it, and understand its worth. But this isn't just a story of potential wealth. It's a story of timing and opportunity. Every year, more pennies get lost, discarded, or melted down. Every moment that passes, the number of potential 1970 pennies in pristine condition dwindles. That scarcity drives demand, and demand drives value. The clock is ticking, and each coin you discover is a chance to change your financial trajectory. Here's a humorous thought to keep you engaged. If Abraham Lincoln could see this penny today, he might chuckle and say, "I didn't think I'd be making millionaires from pocket change." But the truth is, these coins have outlived expectations, proving that even the smallest objects can carry immense power. And that's a lesson worth remembering in life. Don't underestimate the seemingly ordinary. It might just be extraordinary in disguise. Now, let's connect all of this together. The 1970 Lincoln penny combines rarity, history, and financial potential. It's a tangible link to the past, a collector's dream, and an investment opportunity unlike any other. The excitement of finding one, the urgency to act before it's too late, and the fear of missing out all converge to make this coin a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Every minute you delay could mean someone else claims the fortune that could have been yours. Before we reach the final reveal, imagine the scenario. A dusty jar of coins, overlooked for decades. You sift through it casually, expecting pennies, nickels, dimes, and maybe a few quarters. Then your eyes catch something different. A gleam, a marking, a subtle detail that stops you in your tracks. That's the moment the ordinary becomes extraordinary. That's the moment where fear and excitement collide, where your life could change forever. And that moment could happen to you. And here's the last cliffhanger to leave you thinking, what if you already have one? What if the fortune is sitting quietly in your home, just waiting for you to recognize it? That's not imagination, that's reality. The 1970 Lincoln penny has transformed the lives of collectors and investors across the country. And it can transform yours too. But only if you act, only if you educate yourself, and only if you seize the opportunity before it disappears. So take a moment. Look through your coins, your drawers, your jars. Don't dismiss the tiny and ordinary, because sometimes it's there, waiting to change everything. The 1970 mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny isn't just a coin. It's a key, a treasure, a gateway to financial freedom and an extraordinary lifestyle. The chance to claim this kind of wealth doesn't come often, and when it does, it's up to you to recognize it, act on it, and make it yours. What if I told you that a single penny, the kind hiding in old coffee cans, sock drawers, or forgotten piggy banks could quietly be worth more than a luxury home, more than a retirement account, more than years of hard work combined. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may completely change the way you look at every coin you've ever ignored. This is the story of the 1964 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin surrounded by mystery, controversy, and life-changing potential. And somewhere out there, possibly in your possession right now, one of these pennies may be waiting to rewrite your future. Most people think wealth comes loudly. Big salaries, big businesses, big risks. But real hidden wealth often whispers. It hides in plain sight. In America, millions of pennies pass through hands every single day, dismissed as worthless, tossed into jars, left behind on counters. And that's exactly why the most valuable ones survive. No one was looking, no one cared, and that's how legends are born. The year 1964 was a turning point in U.S. coinage history. America was changing fast. The economy was under pressure. Silver was disappearing from circulation. The U.S. Mint was producing coins at massive scale to meet demand. Denver, marked by the small but powerful D Mint mark, was working around the clock. Speed mattered more than perfection. And when speed replaces precision, extraordinary things can happen. Here's where it gets interesting. While most 1964 pennies are common, a tiny number are anything but. Certain 1964 D Lincoln cents are believed to have been struck under unusual conditions, with rare characteristics, transitional metal anomalies, and minting irregularities that should never have made it into circulation. Coins like these aren't supposed to exist, and when something isn't supposed to exist, collectors pay attention. Now pause for a second and ask yourself an uncomfortable question. How many pennies have you spent without ever really looking at them? How many opportunities slipped through your fingers because they were too small to seem important? Funny how life works like that, right? The thing we ignore today becomes the thing we chase tomorrow. High-end collectors don't look at pennies the way most people do. They see history, scarcity, survival. And when it comes to the rarest known examples of the 1964 D Lincoln penny, whispers of private sales and elite collector valuations have reached staggering levels. We're talking about coins rumored to command values as high as $964,000 in top condition, with the right combination of rarity, preservation, and provenance. That's not pocket change. That's legacy money. Here's where fear kicks in. Fear of missing out. Fear that you've already owned something priceless and never knew it. Fear that the penny sitting 2 feet away from you right now could be worth more than your car. Let that sink in for a moment. A coin so small it fits under your fingernail, powerful enough to change generations. But excitement follows fear closely, because this isn't a story about loss. This is a story about possibility. Unlike stocks that require perfect timing or real estate that demands massive capital, rare coins reward awareness. Knowledge is the entry fee, and once you know what to look for, the game changes completely. The 1964 D penny becomes special when certain factors collide. The strike quality, the metal composition, the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the clarity of the date and mint mark. Subtle differences that the untrained eye misses instantly but experts obsess over for years. This is where ordinary pennies separate from extraordinary ones. And this is where fortunes are quietly decided. Let me ask you something, and be honest. If a stranger offered you a penny and said it might be worth nearly $1 million, would you laugh? Most people would. And that's exactly why the smart money is already ahead of the crowd. Wealth loves disbelief. It thrives when the masses doubt. Collectors in their 40s, 50s, and 60s understand something younger generations are only beginning to rediscover. Tangible assets matter. You can't inflate rarity. You can't print another past. A coin that survived decades of circulation, wars, recessions, and careless handling becomes more than metal. It becomes proof of endurance. And endurance has value. Here's a quick mental reset before we go deeper. Ready? Imagine paying off your home with a penny. Imagine telling your family that the retirement plan came from a coin found in an old drawer. Sounds ridiculous. That's good. Ridiculous ideas are where breakthroughs live. As demand for elite-grade U.S. coins continues to rise, supply does the opposite. Coins don't get rarer because people talk about them. They get rarer because time destroys them. Corrosion, damage, loss. Every year, fewer pristine examples remain. That creates urgency, and urgency drives price. Now here's the cliffhanger that keeps serious collectors up at night. Experts believe some of the rarest 1964 D pennies are still ungraded, still uncertified, still hiding. Once discovered, authenticated, and introduced to the market, the ripple effect could be enormous. New benchmarks, new records, new headlines, and those who act early are always the ones who benefit most. This is where excitement turns into strategy. Because owning a rare coin is only half the equation. Knowing when and how to sell it is where wealth is realized. The top buyers aren't browsing online marketplaces. They operate quietly through private deals, high-end auctions, and exclusive networks. They pay premiums for coins with stories, mystery, and impeccable grading. And yes, grading matters. Professional certification can mean the difference between a nice collectible and a life-changing asset. A single point on a grading scale can add or remove hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not exaggeration. That's the reality of elite numismatics. Here's a bit of humor to reset your focus. People say money doesn't grow on trees. Turns out, sometimes it grows in jars labeled spare change. Who knew? But don't get comfortable yet, because comfort is expensive. The longer you wait to inspect, learn, and act, the greater the chance someone else does it first. Every year, more people enter the rare coin space. More competition, more awareness, and fewer opportunities hiding in plain sight. The American dream has always favored those who pay attention. Those who notice details others ignore. Those willing to look twice when everyone else looks away. The 1964 D Lincoln penny represents more than potential profit. It represents a mindset shift. From spender to collector, from consumer to owner, from observer to participant. And here's the final thought I want to leave you with. History doesn't announce itself when it passes through your hands. It waits for you to recognize it. Somewhere, right now, a penny is waiting for the right person to take it seriously. The question isn't whether these coins exist. The question is whether you'll be the one who finds it before the rest of the world catches on. Because once everyone believes, the opportunity is already gone. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we are diving into a story that could change your life. A story about a coin that seems ordinary, but hides an extraordinary secret. Imagine holding in your hand a piece of history, something that millions pass by every day without a second glance. Yet this small copper disc could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, I'm talking about the USA 1971 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny. What if I told you that this very coin could transform your financial future? Could a tiny penny really make you wealthy beyond imagination? Stick with me because by the end of this video, you might look at your loose change in a completely different way. The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, at first glance, looks like countless others minted that year. Its familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, etched in copper, doesn't scream rarity or wealth. But here's where the story gets thrilling. This isn't just a coin. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You see, the absence of a mint mark makes this coin extremely rare. In a sea of millions, only a few of these pennies exist in pristine, untouched condition. And collectors, investors, and secret treasure hunters are willing to pay astronomical sums to get their hands on one. Current market estimates have placed its value at an astonishing $971,000. That's right, nearly $1 million for a coin most people would toss into a jar without a second thought. Now, before your mind starts racing about all the coins in your pocket, let's pause and think about this. How often do we overlook something that's been right under our noses? We walk past antiques, thrift stores, and even our own piggy banks without realizing we might be sitting on a fortune. This penny is a stark reminder that true value isn't always visible at first glance. And if you've ever dreamed of suddenly finding wealth in the most unexpected place, this coin embodies that dream. But let me ask you something. What makes this coin so valuable? Why does a small copper piece of metal suddenly hold a price tag that could buy a house, a luxury car, or even a small island? The answer lies in rarity, history, and condition. The 1971 no-mint mark penny is a unique variant. During the 1971 production run, almost all pennies were minted with an S or D mark, identifying the San Francisco or Denver mints. For reasons still debated by experts, a few coins were struck without any mint mark. Only a handful of these have survived in mint condition, and that scarcity is what drives collectors into a frenzy. It's a simple law of economics. Rare plus desirable equals priceless. Here's a humorous thought for a second. Imagine if Benjamin Franklin were alive today, telling you to save your pennies. He probably didn't mean the 1971 no-mint mark penny specifically, but somehow he was right. Holding on to the right coin could indeed be life-changing. And the irony is, while Franklin's advice was about frugality, modern coin collectors find that one rare coin in a pile of ordinary ones, and suddenly, saving pennies turns into a path to extraordinary wealth. Let's take a moment to reflect on the journey of this coin. Picture the year 1971. Nixon was in the White House, the Vietnam War was ongoing, and Americans were living a life so different from today. Amidst all of that, a minting error occurred. It was subtle, almost invisible, but it created a coin that now exists as a key to unimaginable value. This isn't just a coin. It's a tangible link to history, a symbol of luck, and a ticket to wealth for those who recognize it. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I have a jar of pennies at home, don't scroll away. This is exactly the moment where opportunity knocks. Every coin has a story, and some stories end in incredible fortune. But here's the catch: the market waits for no one. The longer a coin sits unnoticed, the higher its value climbs as collectors fight over each rare find. Imagine discovering one of these pennies in a dusty drawer, realizing it could fetch nearly $1 million, and knowing you had the chance to seize it years ago. That fear of missing out isn't just a feeling, it's a motivator. Speaking of motivation, let's talk about how to spot this treasure. The 1971 no-mint mark penny is deceptively ordinary to the untrained eye. It looks like any other 1971 Lincoln penny, but if you inspect the obverse closely, the absence of a mint mark beneath the date is your key. Condition is critical too. A coin in circulated condition is worth thousands, but a coin in mint, uncirculated condition is what commands the near $1 million price tag. Collectors and investors pay a premium for perfection. Even a tiny scratch or discoloration can reduce its value dramatically. This is where excitement turns into urgency. If you have one of these coins or even suspect that you might, the window to act is now. Auctions, private collectors, and rare coin dealers are always on the lookout. The question isn't just, do you have this coin? It's, will you recognize its value before it's gone? Opportunities like this don't knock twice. In fact, they often vanish the moment you hesitate. But wait, there's a twist that makes this even more compelling. Some coins have hidden markers, slight variations, or unusual features that experts call die errors or variations. These subtle differences can multiply a coin's value even further. One lucky collector discovered a variant that, on top of being a 1971 no-mint mark penny, had a double die, an extremely rare occurrence in the world of numismatics. That single coin sold for over $1 million. The takeaway is clear. Attention to detail can turn a nearly priceless coin into a jaw-dropping treasure. Here's a cliffhanger for you. Imagine finding a coin in your change, examining it under a magnifying glass, and suddenly realizing it could be your ticket to a new lifestyle. Would you recognize it? Would you know how to validate its authenticity? That's where expertise becomes invaluable. Working with a reputable coin grading service is critical. They assess the coin's condition, verify its rarity, and assign a grade that can exponentially increase its market value. One misstep, one wrong move, and the opportunity to maximize profit could slip away. Let's inject a little humor to lighten the tension. Think of your coin jar as a lottery ticket stash, except these tickets don't expire. And unlike the lottery, your odds aren't entirely random. Knowledge, research, and careful inspection increase the likelihood of uncovering a hidden gem. While most people gamble on luck, you can gamble on insight. And insight, my friends, is far more profitable. The journey doesn't end with discovery. Selling a rare coin like the 1971 no-mint mark penny requires strategy, patience, and knowing the right channels. Auctions, private sales, and elite collector networks all have different dynamics. A misstep could mean selling for less than the coin's true value. But done correctly, one coin could not only fulfill dreams but secure financial independence. It's more than a transaction, it's a life-changing event. And here's the most inspiring part. This isn't just about money. It's about opportunity, recognition, and timing. History created this coin. Circumstance preserved it. And now the choice is yours. Will you seize the chance to uncover hidden wealth? Or will you let it pass unnoticed like millions of others? Every collector has that defining moment. The moment when ordinary metal transforms into extraordinary fortune. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to dream. Picture the possibilities. Your life upgraded, your family secured, a future filled with choice and freedom. All from a coin that most people consider insignificant. The 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny represents more than wealth. It represents a story, a journey, and the power of recognizing value where others see nothing. And here's the final cliffhanger to leave you thinking. Somewhere, right now, there could be a 1971 no-mint Mark penny waiting for the next person brave enough to notice it. Could it be in your wallet? In a dusty drawer? Or maybe in a forgotten collection passed down through generations? Only one way to find out. Will you be the one to uncover it and change your life forever? So, the question lingers. Are you ready to look beyond the ordinary, recognize the extraordinary, and take action? Because in the world of rare coins, fortune favors the vigilant. Your moment could be now. Every penny tells a story. Some stories are priceless. And the 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is waiting for its next chapter, written by you. Welcome back to the world of rare coins, where history, mystery, and unimaginable wealth collide in a single, unassuming penny. Imagine holding a piece of American history in the palm of your hand, a coin so ordinary that most people overlook it every single day. But this isn't just any penny. We're talking about the 1978 D-Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that, in the right condition, could be worth up to $978,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, almost $1 million for something that most of us toss into jars or couch cushions without a second thought. Think about that for a moment. A coin you might have casually picked up at a store decades ago could now be your ticket to financial freedom. That's the power of rare coins, and that's the kind of story that can change a life overnight. But before you rush to dig through old collections or drawer clutter, let's explore why this penny is so incredibly valuable. At first glance, the 1978 D penny looks ordinary. It's copper, it's small, it bears the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, and on the back, the iconic wheat ears stretch across the coin's surface, hearkening back to a simpler era in American minting. But hidden in that simplicity is a world of nuance that collectors and investors drool over. Minor variations in minting, microscopic flaws, and the condition of the coin itself can skyrocket its value from a few cents to astronomical figures. And the 1978 D penny isn't just any coin. It's rare in a way that makes collectors stop dead in their tracks. Now, you might be asking yourself, how can a penny from 1978 be worth nearly $1 million? The answer lies in rarity and condition. Most coins minted that year were produced in vast quantities, but a select few escaped with unique characteristics that set them apart. Perhaps it's a subtle double die, an unusual strike, or a minting error that occurred only at the Denver Mint, the D that marks its origin. These anomalies are what transform an everyday coin into a treasure. And here's a little secret. Most people pass over these coins because they don't know what to look for. Here's where your opportunity comes in. Imagine walking into your local bank, or even looking through your own coin jar, and finding a coin that could change your life. Sounds like a scene from a movie, right? But for some collectors and investors, this isn't fiction, it's reality. There have been documented cases where a single 1978 D penny, in perfect condition, sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in the rarest of instances, close to $1 million. It's enough to make your heart race just thinking about it. And speaking of heart-racing moments, let's pause for a quick reality check. Not all pennies are created equal. You could be holding a handful of 1978 D pennies and think they're worth something extraordinary, only to find out that slight imperfections can dramatically reduce their value. A small scratch, a tiny discoloration, or even the wrong angle of light when the coin is examined can make the difference between hundreds of dollars and hundreds of thousands. That's why expert grading is critical. Professional coin graders evaluate every aspect of the coin, its luster, strike, and surface quality, and assign a grade that can literally make or break its market value. But beyond the numbers, beyond the grading, there's a story here, a human story. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, was America's way of honoring one of its most revered presidents. The wheat design on the reverse side is a tribute to the nation's agricultural roots, a reminder that even in the smallest denominations, American history and craftsmanship shine. Holding a 1978 D wheat penny connects you to decades of history, from the late 1970s to the present day, and suddenly, a tiny piece of copper becomes a bridge to the past. You might be thinking, okay, this is fascinating, but how do I know if I've got one of these million-dollar treasures? Well, here's where the thrill kicks in. Start by examining your coin's details carefully. Look for the D mint mark under the date, check the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, and inspect the wheat ears for clarity and detail. If something looks off or unusually pristine, you could be holding something extraordinary. And here's a tip that's almost too good to ignore. Sometimes the coins that appear the most ordinary are hiding the most extraordinary secrets. Now, let's sprinkle in a little humor to keep our hearts light. Imagine telling a friend, "I just found a penny worth $1 million," and watching them try to figure out whether you're joking. Yes, humor helps, but so does urgency. Every day, coins are sold, traded, and discovered. If you hesitate too long, someone else could snag your treasure right from under your nose. Opportunities like this don't wait, and neither should you. But let's get back to the numbers, because that's where the excitement turns electric. Current market value for the 1978 D Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln penny, in perfect condition, is estimated at $978,000. That's not a misprint. Nearly $1 million for a coin smaller than a stack of business cards. For perspective, imagine the kind of financial freedom that amount could provide. Paying off debts, investing in properties, securing your family's future. And while most people will never hold such a coin, you now understand that the potential is real, tangible, and life-changing. Transitioning from potential to action is key. How do you move from curiosity to cash? First, assemble your coins, identify potential candidates, and then have them professionally graded. Avoid the mistake of selling to the first buyer who comes along. In the rare coin market, patience, timing, and knowledge are your greatest allies. And here's a little cliffhanger for you. Many people don't realize that some 1978 D pennies have sold not just for hundreds of thousands, but in private auctions, for amounts that exceed $1 million. The right buyer, at the right moment, could make your coin history and your wealth a reality. Here's another thought to consider. Rarity doesn't just increase value. It creates excitement, anticipation, and competition. Collectors and investors around the world are constantly hunting for coins like the 1978 D, and they're willing to pay top dollar for even the slightest anomaly. That's why knowing what to look for and acting fast can put you ahead of the pack. Imagine being the one who discovers a coin that collectors dream about but rarely see. The thrill is undeniable. And let's take a moment to acknowledge the emotional roller coaster that comes with this journey. There's fear, the fear of missing out on an opportunity that could vanish overnight. There's excitement, the heart-pounding realization that your coin might be worth far more than you ever imagined. And there's urgency, the relentless drive to verify, protect, and sell at the right moment. These emotions are powerful because they push you toward action, toward seizing the opportunity before it slips through your fingers. But beyond wealth, there's something almost spiritual about collecting rare coins. Each penny tells a story. Each mint mark whispers history. And the 1978 D penny? It's a narrative of rarity, precision, and the remarkable potential of something small yet monumental. Holding it, examining it, understanding it, it's an experience that goes beyond money. And yet, the money is what brings the most tangible impact. So, imagine this scenario. You discover your 1978 D penny hidden in an old box, buried among ordinary coins. You take it to a professional grader, heart racing, palms sweating. The verdict comes in near perfect condition. Its market value? Close to $1 million. Your life changes in an instant. That's the power of rare coins, and that's the story that's waiting for someone just like you. And here's a final cliffhanger to leave you on the edge. The market for rare coins is unpredictable. Prices fluctuate, buyers emerge and vanish. And sometimes, a coin that seemed ordinary becomes the hottest commodity overnight. Imagine waking up to a world where your 1978 penny isn't just a coin. It's a headline, a financial windfall, and a life-altering discovery. If there's one lesson to take from this journey, it's this: never underestimate the power of what's right in front of you. A penny might seem insignificant, but in the right hands, it can be extraordinary. The 1978 D Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny isn't just copper and metal. It's potential, opportunity, and history condensed into something small enough to fit in your pocket. So, the question remains, could you be sitting on a hidden fortune? Could your next coin discovery unlock wealth you never imagined? The answer might be in your very own collection, waiting to be uncovered, graded, and appreciated for its true value. One thing is certain: the moment you discover it, your life could change forever. Don't let another day go by without checking. That ordinary penny in your drawer might just be your extraordinary ticket to financial freedom. And remember, in the world of rare coins, fortune favors the bold, the curious, and the prepared. The 1978 D penny is more than history. It's opportunity, and it's calling your name. Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could change your life forever. A coin so rare, so elusive, that collectors across the country would do almost anything to get their hands on it. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1973 D Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny. A penny that is not just a piece of metal, but a key to potential wealth that can reach hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. If you've ever wondered if that jar of old pennies in your drawer could hold a secret fortune, this video will give you the answer. And trust me, by the end, you might never look at your spare change the same way again. Let's start at the beginning. The Lincoln Wheat penny is an iconic piece of American history. First minted in 1909, it was designed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Its reverse side features 2 stalks of wheat framing the denomination. A simple yet elegant design that has captured the hearts of collectors for over a century. By 1973, the Lincoln Wheat penny was nearing the end of its production era, making some specific mintings especially rare. Among these, the 1973 D Mint Mark penny stands out, not just for its date, but for the story behind its scarcity. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth almost $1 million? Sounds like something out of a fairy tale. But here's where the story gets fascinating. Only a limited number of 1973 D pennies were struck, and even fewer have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Collectors call these the holy grails of Lincoln Wheat pennies. Unlike the millions of standard pennies that passed through everyday hands, these coins were carefully preserved, often tucked away in collections that remained untouched for decades. And that's why, today, a single coin in perfect condition can fetch an astonishing $973,000. You might be wondering how one coin could possibly reach such a staggering value. The answer lies in 3 key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. First, rarity. While the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies over the years, only a tiny fraction of the 1973 D Mint Mark pennies survived in flawless condition. Any scratches, discoloration, or wear dramatically reduces the value. That means finding one in a drawer, a jar, or even at a garage sale is not just luck. It's a near miracle. Condition is equally critical. Collectors use a grading system to determine a coin's quality, ranging from good to mint state. A penny that shows no signs of wear, with sharp, crisp details and a brilliant finish, is exponentially more valuable than one with even minor imperfections. The 1973 D Mint Mark penny in mint state condition is incredibly rare, making it one of the most sought-after coins among serious collectors. And demand? Well, that's where the excitement and the urgency comes in. Every year, coin collectors, investors, and even celebrities compete for these rare finds. The moment a pristine 1973 D penny hits the market, Bidding wars can erupt, driving the price towards seven figures. Let's pause for a moment and picture this. You're at a family reunion. Someone casually mentions they have a box of old coins. You dig through, heart pounding, and there it is. A penny with a small D mint mark and the unmistakable 1973 date. Your palms sweat, your mind races, and suddenly, you're holding nearly $1 million in your hand. It sounds unbelievable, and that's exactly the point. Unbelievable things can happen when history and rarity collide. But there's more to this coin than just numbers. Every 1973 D Lincoln penny carries a story. It's a piece of history, a tangible connection to the past. Imagine the hands that struck it at the Denver Mint, the people who held it, the decades it spent quietly waiting in a collection, unnoticed, until the right moment brought it into the light. This is not just a coin. It's a bridge between generations, and that emotional connection is part of what drives collectors to pay staggering amounts. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever checked your loose change in detail? Most people dismiss pennies as worthless, but history has a funny way of hiding treasures in plain sight. That jar of pennies on your counter, that forgotten box in the attic, they could be hiding coins that are worth more than your car, more than a down payment on a house, more than you might imagine. And the truth is, if you don't look, you'll never know. Here's a little humor to reset your attention. If you think a penny isn't exciting, remember that one of these coins can buy you a mansion while a regular penny barely buys a gumball. Life has a sense of irony, doesn't it? Let's dive deeper into the market dynamics. The 1973 D penny's value is not just a random number. It's the result of decades of careful tracking by numismatists, coin experts who study, verify, and authenticate coins. Auction houses, private collectors, and even museums closely monitor these coins. When a pristine 1973 D penny becomes available, it triggers a chain reaction. Serious buyers prepare for months, sometimes years, to bid. The combination of rarity, high-quality preservation, and intense demand ensures that each sale is not just a transaction but an event, a moment where fortunes are made. And here's the cliffhanger that keeps collectors awake at night. Only a handful of these pennies are certified in top condition. That means every time one is verified or sold, it becomes news, and prices can jump overnight. One moment, a coin sits quietly in a collection. The next, it could be the headline of every major coin auction. That's the kind of volatility and excitement that makes collecting these pennies not just profitable but thrilling. Now, let's connect this to you. Maybe you found a penny that looks like it's just another 1973 D. Maybe it's worn, maybe it's shiny, maybe it's been sitting in a drawer for decades. Don't dismiss it. Every coin has the potential to be extraordinary if it's authenticated and graded. Even minor differences like a sharp strike, a perfect luster, or a small error can make a penny exponentially more valuable. That's why the first step in your journey is awareness. Know what to look for, understand the grading system, and never underestimate the power of rarity. Here's another pattern interrupt. Imagine telling your friends you just found a penny worth nearly $1 million. Their reaction? Priceless. You'll get a mix of disbelief, envy, and maybe a little panic because deep down, everyone knows you just discovered something life-changing. But let's return to the bigger picture. The 1973 D Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln penny is more than a collectible. It's a symbol of opportunity. It represents a bridge between the ordinary and the extraordinary. It shows that sometimes, fortune favors those who look closely, who take risks, and who understand the hidden value in things others overlook. For people aged 30 to 65, the ones who have lived through the highs and lows of life, this penny is a reminder that it's never too late to discover a new path to wealth, a new opportunity to secure financial freedom, or even a chance to live the lifestyle of your dreams. And here's where the urgency comes in. These coins are finite. They're not being produced anymore. Each year that passes, the number of pristine coins in existence diminishes. Collectors know this. Investors know this. And that's why, if you ever come across one, hesitation could cost you a fortune. The moment you recognize its value, action is required. Waiting could mean missing out on a life-changing opportunity. Now, let's end with a powerful vision. Picture yourself holding that 1973 D Lincoln penny. knowing it could open doors to financial freedom. Picture the possibilities: a dream home, world travel, investment opportunities, the ability to give back to your community or secure your family's future. This is not fantasy. This is the tangible potential of one small coin that holds an extraordinary value. So, the next time you glance at a jar of pennies, remember this story. Remember the 1973 D Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny. Remember that sometimes the smallest things can have the greatest impact. Your fortune might be sitting in plain sight, waiting for you to recognize it. And when you do, the life you've imagined, full of wealth, freedom, and opportunity, could become a reality. Welcome back, collectors and treasure hunters. Imagine holding a small, copper-colored coin in your hand and realizing that it could change your life forever. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1986 no-mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that it could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $986,000 for a single penny. And this isn't just a fantasy or a collector's tale. It's a reality that has transformed the lives of those who knew where to look. Now, you might be thinking, a penny? Really? How can something that I've seen 1,000 times in my life be worth more than a house? That's exactly why most people overlook treasures hiding in plain sight. You see, rarity is what drives value in the world of coin collecting, and the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a perfect storm of scarcity, history, and desirability. The story begins in the mid-1980s, a time when the United States Mint produced millions of pennies, each one stamped with the familiar Lincoln profile. But among these millions, a few slipped through the cracks, untouched by the usual mint marks that identify where they were made. These no-mint mark pennies are extraordinarily rare, and the 1986 edition has become legendary among numismatists and collectors worldwide. Holding one of these coins is like holding a piece of American history in its purest form. You might be asking yourself, what makes this penny so special? It's not just the lack of a mint mark. It's the story behind it, the accident, the anomaly, the twist of fate that made this penny one of the most sought-after coins in the world. Every collector dreams of finding a coin that has a secret built into it. The 1986 no-mint mark penny is that secret, quietly waiting in jars, drawers, and forgotten collections across America. Imagine walking into your attic or rummaging through an old drawer and finding this coin. The excitement, the rush of adrenaline, the disbelief as you realize the magnitude of your discovery. It's the kind of moment that changes lives forever. But here's a little humorous thought. Wouldn't it be ironic if your life-changing treasure was sitting next to a crumpled pack of expired gum or a collection of dusty bottle caps? Life has a funny way of hiding gold in the most unexpected places. The market value of this penny is staggering. $986,000 is not just a number. It's the kind of wealth that allows someone to pay off debts, secure their family's future, or finally take that dream vacation around the world. But wealth from rare coins isn't just about money. It's about timing, knowledge, and action. Every day, coins like this change hands, and every day, someone misses the opportunity to recognize their hidden fortune. The fear of missing out is real, and it's precisely what motivates serious collectors to dig a little deeper, research a little longer, and never overlook the pennies that pass through their hands. Now, here's a question to keep you thinking. How many of these 1986 no-mint mark pennies are out there? Some estimates suggest fewer than a handful exist in perfect condition. And when we talk about perfect condition, we're not just talking about a penny that looks shiny. We're talking about a coin that has survived nearly 4 decades without a scratch, a dent, or a blemish. The rarity, combined with the pristine condition, is what pushes the value into 6 and even 7 figures. It's fascinating to think about the journey of a single penny. Minted in 1986, it might have spent decades in circulation, passed from hand to hand, forgotten in wallets, jars, and piggy banks. And yet, somewhere along the way, a few escaped the ordinary, kept their no-mint mark identity intact, and emerged as treasures beyond imagination. This is not just coin collecting, it's a form of time travel. Every coin tells a story, every scratch and shine holds a memory, and the 1986 no-mint mark penny tells a story of luck, timing, and opportunity, Here's another thought to reset your focus. Have you ever thought your pocket change could be more valuable than your paycheck? Sounds absurd, right? But for those who discovered this penny, that absurdity became reality. And that's the thrill of coin collecting, the knowledge that ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets. Collectors have paid staggering sums for coins just like this. Auctions become arenas of tension and excitement, where bids climb higher and higher, fueled by the fear of missing out and the desire to own a piece of history. In these moments, it's not just a coin that is being sold. It's a story, a legacy, a piece of art that has transcended its humble copper origins. But the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just a story about wealth. It's a story about timing and awareness. People who recognized the rarity early on were able to secure incredible value. Those who hesitated, thinking it was just another penny, watched opportunities pass them by. This is why knowledge is power. This is why research, attention to detail, and vigilance are crucial for anyone looking to enter the world of rare coin collecting. And let's not forget the thrill of the chase. The idea that somewhere, someone may stumble upon this coin in a dusty old drawer or a forgotten jar of pennies. That thrill is what drives collectors to visit flea markets, estate sales, and even their own attics with renewed curiosity. There's a sense of adventure, almost like a treasure hunt, where every coin could hold the key to unimaginable wealth. Now imagine for a moment. You've discovered the 1986 no-mint Mark penny. You hold it in your hand. You feel the weight, the texture, the story etched into its surface. You realize this tiny coin could change your life. But here's the cliffhanger. Do you sell it immediately, cashing in on your fortune? Or do you hold on to it, waiting for its value to climb even higher? The decision is yours, but one thing is certain. Opportunities like this don't come twice. And here's something most people overlook: the emotional impact of finding something so rare. It's not just about the money. It's about the thrill, the pride, the connection to history, and the story you now become a part of. Every penny has a story, but the 1986 no-mint Mark penny is a story of chance, fortune, and the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. Collectors who understand this know that time is of the essence. Each year, more people become aware of these hidden treasures, and each year the competition grows. The market for rare coins is dynamic, fast-moving, and, above all, unforgiving to those who hesitate. The urgency to act is real. And if you're holding one of these pennies, the window to secure maximum value may be narrower than you think. You might laugh at the idea of a single penny being worth nearly $1 million, but laughter often masks disbelief. And in this case, disbelief is just a reaction to a reality that many have experienced firsthand. The 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has proven time and again that rarity, condition, and timing can converge to create life-altering value. So, as we approach the conclusion of this incredible journey, remember this: opportunity is everywhere. The coin in your pocket, the jar on your shelf, the drawer you forgot existed. All of these could hide treasures beyond imagination. And while not every penny will turn into $986,000, the possibility exists, and the thrill of discovery is what keeps collectors searching, learning, and dreaming. In the end, the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of luck, of timing, of knowledge, and of the extraordinary potential hidden in everyday life. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning to explore the world of rare coins, remember that treasures are often closer than you think. And sometimes, all it takes is a little curiosity, a little patience, and the courage to look twice at the ordinary to uncover the extraordinary. So, as you go through your own collection, or even your loose change, ask yourself, could this be the penny that changes everything? Could this tiny piece of copper carry the weight of a fortune and the thrill of a lifetime? Keep searching, stay vigilant, and never underestimate the power of a penny. Because in the world of rare coins, even the smallest piece can hold the biggest secrets. And remember, the next time you pick up a penny, it's not just money. It's history, it's potential, and for some lucky collector, it could be a ticket to a life of unimaginable wealth. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that could change your life forever. A coin so rare, so valuable, that it could turn a simple collection into a fortune. Today, We're uncovering the story of the 1979 no-mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny, a penny that has quietly become a symbol of unimaginable wealth, with a current market value soaring to an astonishing $979,000. You might be thinking, a penny? How could a penny be worth nearly $1 million? And that skepticism is exactly why so many people miss the opportunity of a lifetime. The truth is, these coins are rare, and rarity in the world of numismatics often translates into extraordinary financial potential. Back in 1979, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents, but only a tiny fraction were struck without a mint mark. The absence of this mark, a small, almost invisible omission, sets the stage for one of the most sought-after coins in modern collecting. Most people overlook it, pass it over in pocket change, completely unaware that a tiny misprint could represent a life-altering fortune. Think about this for a second. A single penny, often considered the least valuable coin in your wallet, now commands nearly $1 million. It's the ultimate example of hidden potential. And this isn't a fairy tale or a fluke. This is real, tangible wealth sitting quietly in homes, drawers, and old coin collections across the country. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. Coins like this don't just gain value because of their rarity. They hold stories, history, and an almost magnetic allure for collectors and investors alike. The 1979 no-mint Mark Wheat Lincoln cent is a symbol of both historical significance and a cautionary tale for those who ignore opportunities. Imagine the person who finds one tucked away in a shoebox at a garage sale or in an old jar of coins. They could go from ordinary life to extraordinary wealth overnight. Now, before your mind wanders into "what if I find one?" territory, let's talk about the signs of authenticity. Many collectors and even casual sellers are tricked by clever replicas or altered coins. The key is knowing what to look for: the precise absence of the mint mark, the condition of the wheat reverse, and the overall preservation of the coin. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition can command a price exponentially higher than those showing wear. A tiny scratch could be the difference between $100,000 and $979,000. And here's something that might make you chuckle. The idea that the coin we're talking about could have been in someone's pocket while they paid for a candy bar or a cup of coffee. One person tossing it aside, unaware of its life-changing potential, while another could have turned it into a fortune. It's almost comical, if it weren't so painfully real. This is why timing and knowledge matter. Being in the right place, knowing the right information, and acting before others catch on can make all the difference. Imagine the fear, the excitement, the urgency of realizing that a simple penny in your hand could be your golden ticket. Most people will dismiss a coin as worthless. They'll overlook it, underestimate it, never realizing they're holding something truly extraordinary. And while they're doing that, the market for rare coins is quietly surging. Prices aren't static, they're climbing. Every day, collectors and investors are paying handsomely for the few authentic 1979 no-mint mark pennies that surface. This is why acting quickly isn't just wise, it's essential. You might wonder why this coin, produced only a few decades ago, holds such astronomical value. It's all about scarcity and desire. Millions of pennies were minted in 1979, but only a tiny fraction lacked a mint mark. Scarcity creates exclusivity, and exclusivity drives desire. Collectors don't just want a coin. They want the rarest, the one that sets them apart. They're competing, bidding, and paying extraordinary amounts for something most people would consider trivial. And this is where opportunity knocks. You don't need to be a billionaire to hold $1 million coin. You just need to recognize it when you see it. Now, here's a question to reset your thinking. What if you already have this penny and didn't know its value? It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? Millions of dollars in your pocket, or forgotten in a drawer, waiting for discovery. But don't panic. It's not too late. There are experts, appraisers, and collectors ready to evaluate coins and offer fair, sometimes staggering prices. Knowledge is power, and knowing what to look for can turn fear into fortune. Let's delve into the excitement a bit further. Picture the auction room, the gavel striking, and the room holding its collective breath as bids climb higher and higher. That's the world these rare pennies inhabit. It's fast, competitive, and exhilarating. One coin can spark bidding wars that rival those for fine art or luxury real estate. And while this may sound like an adrenaline rush only for the ultra-wealthy, anyone with the right information and the right coin can participate. The 1979 no-mint mark penny doesn't just represent wealth. It embodies a mindset. It's about seeing potential where others see nothing. It's about acting decisively when an opportunity arises. And it's about the thrill of discovery, the joy of holding a tangible piece of history that is more than just metal. It's a gateway to life-changing wealth. And here's a little cliffhanger to keep your heart racing. Experts predict that the value of these coins could continue to rise dramatically in the coming years. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and increasing demand means that a penny valued at $979,000 today could be worth even more tomorrow. But timing is everything. The longer you wait, the higher the risk that someone else seizes the opportunity first. So, what should you do if you suspect you have a 1979 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln penny? First, don't rush. Handle it carefully, keep it protected, and seek verification from a reputable coin grading service. This is where excitement meets responsibility. The last thing you want is to damage a coin worth nearly $1 million because of haste or carelessness. Protecting its condition preserves its value and its potential to change your life. But here's a reality check. Most people never get this far. They dismiss coins as trivial, overlook them in old jars, or fail to recognize the rare gems hiding in plain sight. That's why the market continues to reward those who pay attention. The tiny percentage of individuals who notice, research, and act wisely are the ones who end up reaping extraordinary rewards. Now, imagine that you've identified a genuine 1979 no-mint mark penny. The excitement is palpable, the adrenaline rush undeniable. You're not just selling a coin. You're unlocking a financial opportunity that most people only dream about. And while the initial price tag is staggering, consider this. The coin's true value isn't just in dollars. It's in the life it can create. Imagine the doors it could open, the freedom it could provide, the legacy it could leave. And yes, it's natural to feel a mix of fear and exhilaration. Fear of making a mistake, of missing out, of not fully understanding the coin's worth. Exhilaration at the possibility of instant wealth, recognition, and financial freedom. This emotional duality is what makes rare coins like the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln cent so compelling. It's not just about money. It's about life-changing potential. And as we near the conclusion of this journey, let's leave you with a thought. History has a way of hiding treasures in the most unexpected places. A coin you pass over today could be the key to a future you've always dreamed of. But the clock is ticking. Every moment you hesitate, someone else could be claiming the very opportunity you've been seeking. So, keep your eyes open, educate yourself, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. The 1979 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of possibility, a testament to the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary, and a reminder that fortune often favors the vigilant, the informed, and the bold. Who knows? The next time you reach into a jar of coins, you might just pull out a penny that could transform your life forever. And when that moment comes, you'll be ready not just to recognize it, but to seize it. Because in the world of rare coins, knowledge isn't just power. It's wealth.